Welcome to Game Time. Your Sunday crew here: Chris Miles, Candace Parker, Greg Anthony. Candace, looks like you're wearing Lakers colors tonight.
Don't put that rumor out there, Chris. I am unbiased. I'm just sitting here trying to.
I wonder if it's because of LeBron's birthday.
Yeah, it's for LeBron's birthday.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to move on from there. Our first game of the night came down to the wire. Rookie sensation Luka Doncic had to lead his Mavericks against two superstars, Russell Westbrook and PG-13. That's Paul George. How about a Smitty under the rim nominee?
Oh, PG.
There was some water on the floor.
that what happened?
Right there.
Water? That's water?
It wasn't the move.
Paul George makes that water under the bridge when he starts making plays like this. Scale of 1 to 10. What do you give this in a dunk contest?
I'm going 8, 9.
You're a tough critic.
Yeah, well, I've seen PG do better, but that was impressive.
Also impressive, fourth quarter, Luka Doncic all season gives the Mavericks a 3-point lead.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Luka, a bad boy.
Well, you should believe in Paul George as well.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the response. Thunder take the lead.
You might not want to go under the screen against PG.
I tell you what, that is a tough shot. He shot that with a lot of confidence.
36 for Paul George. Thunder up by 6. How about another Diesel Dunks nominee?
Oh!
Oh, my goodness.
Was that a PG-13 or R-rated? Because I'm trying to figure out why.
Maybe NC-17.
Yeah,
After that one.
Good call.
Don't know if you want to watch that too often. Dennis Smith Jr. looking for Luka Doncic, then takes it himself. And the Mavericks take the lead. Heads-up play, Candace.
Very heads-up play. Last game had a layup, didn't quite go down. Today, under control, gets the layup to go.
So the Mavericks up by 1. The shot Paul George wants doesn't get it to go.
He knocks that down 8 out of 10 times, but obviously Dennis Smith Jr. stepping up, knocking down the shot at one end and getting the defense to stop on the other.
Down 2, Russell Westbrook goes for 3. No bueno. 9 points for him. 4 for 22 from the field. 0 for 8 from three-point range. Had he made that one, we wouldn't be talking about that stat line. We'd be talking about an OKC win. Instead, here's Dennis Smith following a Dallas victory.
Dennis, you had 14 points, but more so than that, the big go-ahead bucket and the defensive stand on Paul George. Let's start with the layup. Take us through that play and what you were thinking.
I was just trying to get downhill initially. I seen the time, and I figured we might could go for a 2-for-1 and possibly take the lead. So I tried to get down there as soon as possible. They did a good job of cutting it off initially. My second time going, it was open, and I made a layup.
Well, this year, it's been noticeable. You know, you missed the games, but you've been much better on defense this year, and we saw it on that final possession with Paul George. What were you thinking as that was going down?
Just trying to earn my respect in this league. He had scored. He got a free throw on me, 3 free throws, and I told him, stop flopping. And then he told me he was going to get a straight-up bucket on me. And, last play, I just told him I ain't no one to ISO. And then that's what it is.
I mean, that's tough because that's a 6'8" guy with a high release point, but you stayed with him and contested the shot. Were you trying to force him in any particular direction?
Not really. I was just trying to make him uncomfortable. You know, I didn't really want him settling into his moves. Just jab at the ball as much as possible. If I get a hand on it, that's extra, but I just want to make him uncomfortable. You're
a confident dude in general. Are you more confident now than you've ever been? It seems like things are kind of coming easy to you.
I wouldn't say that. My main thing right now is just going out and playing as hard as possible. And I feel like if I do that, I'll get some good karma. Just trying to make myself tired to play as hard as I can.
You had some big games around this time last year. What's it like to have to go play Oklahoma City again tomorrow night, second night of a back-to-back?
Should be a lot of fun. We just played each other tonight. We got the win. I'm sure they're going to come out fired up. We got to come out and match the energy on the road, and we want to look to turn around our road record.
So Luka Doncic is shooting 54% in clutch situations this season. In that final play, or one of the final plays for the Dallas Mavericks when Dennis Smith scored, it was Luka being a decoy there and causing a lot of distractions for that defense and giving Dennis Smith the opportunity to score.
Well, I think everybody in that arena knew who the ball was going to go to. And, OKC was scrambling defensively, obviously, in transition. Dennis Smith Jr. under control, had composure down the stretch, brought the ball back out, hesitated, nobody guarded him, and he got a free layup to the basket.
Yeah, I thought that Dallas played more like the veteran team. It was really the mistakes that were made by OKC down the stretch, the unforced turnovers that they had that led to live ball scores for Dallas. And then that last play with Dennis Smith, just the miscommunication defense. They were in scramble mode. They weren't communicating, and Dennis Smith Jr. made them pay with a huge basket.
And OKC got the 2 looks they wanted from the 2 guys they wanted it from, Paul George and Russell Westbrook in the final minute. That's what you want, right?
You want that, but you also don't want the 2 turnovers those 2 guys had down the stretch. Remember, it was George who tried to cross it over in traffic, turned it over, and then also Russell trying to get the ball to Paul George, threw it away, live ball turnover as well. That shot is fine. You're going to live with that. You're not going to design a play to get a better look against a set defense than the one he got there. This one's tough because there wasn't a lot of time. Credit Dallas again for at least forcing a tough contested shot, not allowing anything easy there down the stretch. And Dallas continues to play lights out basketball at home. The question is, can they figure out their issues on the road? They're going to get a chance against that same OKC team.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be rocking the 77 Doncic jersey, I must say. He's been a huge bright spot just in terms of the type of shots that he's been taking down the stretch, and we'll see if he can take that on the road and get some victories for the Mavericks.
Certainly making a huge impact early on in his career. LeBron James' teams have not performed well in his absence. In fact, when he's been sidelined, his teams have not won without him since 2016. That includes the Lakers' last 2 games. He's been sidelined with a groin injury. Lakers look to snap that streak against the Sacramento Kings on Sunday. And Lance Stevenson giving LeBron a reason to celebrate on his birthday. You know, Lance is the one we're used to seeing dance, but how about this move by LeBron?
Air guitar.
Air guitar. You can get a tech for that. Didn't Lance get a text for the air guitar?
Maybe he wants to play that again for Josh Hart.
Flexing.
Season high, 22 points for him. How about a Smitty's Under the Rim nominee?
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Ball faking.
Cauley
Brandon
Stein
Ingram.
went for it. Watch his head. Oh.
Oh, he went for the okie doke.
The headband bros.
Oh,
not just in
goodness.
Philly. The Kings take the lead, though. Buddy Buckets living up to the name. And Bogdanovich hit a game winner earlier in the week. Woo! That should be from 4-point range. De'Aaron Fox, 3 the hard way, 26-7 for him. In Sacramento, ahead by 4 in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, that was a nice move. That should be a nominee right there for Smitty's Under the Rim.
2 in 1 game for Brandon Ingram. 21 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Incredible performance.
I thought one of his best all-around games on the entire season. He really, and he was clutch as well for the Lakers.
So was Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Josh Hart. Lakers finished the game on an 18-4 run. So that losing streak of teams while LeBron James sit out comes to an end. They win 121-114. Kawhi Leonard make it look easy against the Chicago Bulls, but it was the Raptors' defense that truly prevailed. We'll take a look around the East next. You're watching Game Time. Simmons is averaging 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists this season. First overall pick of the 2016 draft. Will lead his 76ers against the Portland Trail Blazers tonight at 9. With that, let's welcome in the 76ers point guard. Ben, before the season, you said that you wanted to make sure you mastered your scoring around the rim, that you weren't going to attempt three-point shots until you did that. Well, you still haven't taken one this season, shooting 62% from the floor in the month of December. What is the number you're looking for before you start taking those three-point shots?
I think just getting comfortable with my game and evolving over time. And it starts, day by day. It's not something that I'm just going to jump into and start doing. I'm going to get there over time. I've been working every day, working hard and getting everything right and trying to get better and just trying to lead this team.
Joel Embiid has talked about how soccer contributed to his ability to move as a big man in this league and move well. Obviously, at your size, your ability, 6'10", handle the ball, see the floor, move up and down the court like a guard. What do you think contributed to your ability to be able to do that?
I have no idea. I think maybe playing Australian football, I have no idea. I think just as a kid, my dad used to tell me just dribble the ball. and being a 6'10", point guard, point forward, whatever you call it, has its advantages, as you can see. But I've always been comfortable doing that ever since I was a kid.
Hey, Ben, first, I want to congratulate you and commend you on the fact that you didn't allow the game to pressure you to try to do things that you don't do well at this stage. And you understood who you are as a player. And right now, your best way to impact the game is by dominating the paint. So, but knowing that, did you feel any pressure when you came into the league that maybe you had to think about trying to add that to your repertoire, or were you always comfortable in knowing, you know what, I'll get to that at some point. Let me establish who I am, my identity as a player now, and worry about that later?
For me, it was kind of tough towards the end of the season. I'd hear all these things about shooting the ball, things like that. But for me, I took a step back and looked at, what I was averaging, how our team went, how my first season went. And I think we went very well. I think my season that I played was pretty, if you look at the accolades and stats that I had as an individual player, they were great. And I know I'm going to get to that level. It takes a lot of time, work, dedication, all of that. But for me, I think it's just playing the game, having fun, and trying to evolve and not worrying about the outside noise.
And we have footage of you. I know you work on the three-point shot, and you're going to continue to put the time in there. But again, to your point, most young players, they tend to focus on their weakness and play to their weakness. You were unique in that regard, in my estimation, by coming in and understanding why you were the first pick. They didn't draft you to shoot threes. You weren't the first pick because of that.
Right.
You were the first pick because of all those other attributes that your game has displayed over this year and a half that you've been playing the game. So from a coaching standpoint, your coaching staff, do they talk to you about that aspect of it, or do they want you to continue to be who you are and grow in that area? Because you can still improve, even though you've got gaudy numbers, there's still a lot of areas that you can improve in that I'm sure you realize what happened to you guys in the postseason last year.
100%. I think it comes down to just time. This is my second year playing. So for me, I'm not, forcing anything. It's going to happen over time. I'm going to continue to get better. Coaches do want me to take more shots. And I think, that's one of the things that I've always looked at as, I don't want to be the selfish guy on my team. But I understand, if it's going to help the team get better, then I'm willing to do that. And yeah, I think, the way our team plays is we love to share the ball and make the right plays. And I'm always, that guy who wants to make the right play.
Certainly doing that, averaging almost a triple-double in just your second year in the league, and 17 career triple-doubles so far in just your second year. Ben Simmons, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
G.A., you raise a great point. A lot of times when players come to the league, especially a #1 overall pick, we start picking at the things that they don't do well, right, Candace? And you look at what Ben Simmons is doing right now in his second year, once again, almost averaging a triple-double. Just 1 assist, 2 assists shy, 1 assist, 2 rebounds shy of doing that.
Well, Chris, you said it earlier. Would we be talking more about this had Russell Westbrook not done what he's done over the last 2 years? And he's kind of normalized a triple-double. In this era, we've seen guys like LeBron James, like Russell Westbrook, like a Ben Simmons that can come out, even a James Harden, that can come out night in and night out and get their teams defensive rebounds, assists, and points. And, he is 21, 22 years young. I think he might be younger than that. And we're judging a guy that is basically putting up outstanding numbers on what he can't do instead of what he can. He can get to the basket at will. And Philly is still trying to figure it out. I mean, they had a run last year in the playoffs, in the postseason, but they're still trying to balance how they're going to play Embiid and Simmons together. Yeah,
and more importantly, I mean, his assists are down a tick, but everywhere else across the board, he's up slightly. And more importantly, he's becoming a better player. And I think it's very true that the best players are the guys who understand who they are and play to their strengths. And the point I made about, they didn't draft him. You see it all the time. Guys will come in, they drafted you because of what you do well, not because of what you might do. You've shown an ability by being the #1 overall pick that you have special skill set. And that's what he's established. The other thing that's really impressive that gets lost in all this, they won a playoff series in his rookie year last year. And he was an integral part of that. And generally with younger players, even if they have statistical success, they don't necessarily translate that into wins and losses early in their career. You look at the last 2 rookies of the year prior to him, They're in Minnesota. They weren't sniffing the playoffs until they made that trade to get Jimmy Butler. So for him to do what he did that first year with that young upstart group, getting them in the postseason, winning a first-round series, that bodes really well for their development as a core group moving forward.